Hello everybody, welcome back to Calgary Barbell. This is the end of the week. I've finally done my training for my first equipped meet. I'm going to be heading out to Edmonton shortly here, so I'm very, very glad that training has wrapped up. This is the first time that I have not tapered even in the slightest for a meet. Essentially what we've been doing with my training is each developmental block is a peak in and of itself. We have a time frame for when I peak, so why would we want to change that? I talked to Mike a little bit about it this morning, and that's kind of the idea behind it, is that we're seeing continual supercompensation throughout the developmental block. So the peak of the developmental block is also the meet or the test or whatever you want to call it. My body feels like smushed garbage, but my strength levels are really good right now. So I'm feeling hopeful and feeling pretty confident going into this meet. So yesterday I did some more squats, worked up to I think 155 kilos or 3 sets of 5 there. Pretty minimal weight still, but no pain. Felt even a little bit better than the 147.5 did earlier this week. So I'm really hopeful that my squat is on the mend. We shall see though. Yesterday I also did my competition pause bench. Worked up to 172.5 kilos, which is 2.5 kilos shy of my best ever in competition. It was probably an 8.5, 9, a little bit slower than I would have liked, but pretty good progress. Shoulders are still holding up really well, so I'm happy for that. Today came in, deadlifted a whole bunch of volume, I think 6 sets of 5, and then did slingshot bench and hit a new slingshot PR. So I hit 195 kilos for a single, and then 177.5 kilos for a triple. So if I can get 5 kilos more on the platform in my bench shirt tomorrow, I'll be very, very happy. I don't have huge expectations for my bench, but I really like to see that 200 kilos on the bar and watch myself lock it out essentially. So we had a really great question of the day, and I wanted to answer it, but once I started thinking about it, I realized it's going to take a little bit more detail and a little bit more time than we have in these short vlog videos. So what I'd like to do is make it into its own video. The question was from Ryan Johnson, and he was asking how to transition from raw to equipped lifting. That's something that I've gone through myself over the last little while, and it's also something I think I can shed a little bit of light on for a newer lifter or for somebody looking to make that transition for the first time. What I'm going to talk about instead today is actually something that's a little bit more relevant for the upcoming weekend, and I wanted to talk a little bit about competition mindset. Now, competition mindset is something that I believe is very, very important because on meet day, I think a lot of your performance comes down to where you're at psychologically and how you perform psychologically on the day. So I know a lot of people who are really, really great in the gym. They go out on the platform and it all just falls apart. I know other people that can struggle in the gym, but regardless, they get on the platform and they deliver. They're clutch. They come in and they do their job. I happen to fancy myself a little bit of the latter. I tend to perform relatively well on meet day, and I wanted to talk a little bit about what goes through my head and why I think it is that I'm able to perform on meet day. So I think one of the most important things when it comes to meet day psychology and what needs to be going through your head is you almost need to be cocky. You need to be so sure of yourself that you've done every single thing that you can. And what's going through your head is that you are the best, that you are the biggest, that you are the strongest, that this is your damn job, and that you're there to do your job. And every time you touch that bar, you're gonna deliver. This is what you trained for. You've done all the hard work. All you need to do is put it together on the platform. So you need to be thinking that there is no way that that bar is not going back up. There is no way that you're not going to get 3 white lights on that lift. Anytime you're inside realistic goals, you need to be thinking that you have 100% chance of making this lift. Now, that doesn't need to necessarily manifest as anything to the exterior world. You don't need to walk around with your chest puffed up telling everybody else they're crap. But you need to have absolute, complete faith in yourself in every single lift and 100% confidence that there's no way you can miss. That's it for today. I'm going to try and implement those tips tomorrow and make a whole bunch of lifts. We'll see you guys next time.